All right. So, um, my Eagles won today, so I'm gonna make this real quick. You know what I'm saying? I gotta talk a little greasy a little bit. We really running around murking stuff, you mean? So I gotta make this real quick, you mean? But you know, if anybody was LA fans, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. We get kind of carried away when we start murdering shit. Um, it's really sad. We really need to go to like therapy or something and try to cure like whatever type of disease it is that we have to go around murdering shit. I don't know why we do this, but it kind of is what it is. So I want to take the time out to for a moment of silence for the people that are in LA, that were Rams fans that were rooting for them. This has nothing to do with the fire. I'm being silly, but I don't want to be sound this really desensitive, but this is just this is for the sports world. I mean, okay, there you go. I mean, amen. Or I mean, we got to have a moment of silence for that because that was pretty bad. And we'll come back next week for Washington D.C. people. Yeah, we'll come back for D.C. next week for we'll have a moment of silence for them too. All right, so now let's get to the task at hand. So um I want to go into last John. I talked about I asked what do you think the consequences should be for a person that destroys somebody's life, right? Um, we have in our society we're starting to have like women coming in and lying on men, and then they'll like have like they'll like have this whole like thing pushing like, oh, I'm gonna go here and cry a river here, and I'm gonna go here and cry a river here, and all this other stuff. And hopefully I can create as much resistance towards this person and situation so I can get away with what I'm about to do. And what happens is that stuff is going to be rectified. And I be wanting to know what the consequences are, or what do you think the consequences are to those type of things? Because in the Bible, the Old Testament, and in the Quran, it says eye for an eye. Now, in the in the New Testament, Jesus said that you should turn the other cheek. Now, turn the other cheek is all good. Like for a person like me, would turn the other cheek work for me? It might. It might. I'm not even gonna trip. I'm not even gonna trip about that. Like because I don't want to like. So you have the Old Testament with and the Quran with eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. With the New Testament, Jesus makes it clear that he tells you to turn the other cheek, and if the person wants your, it's cold, he wants your cloak, he wants your jacket, you give him your cloak or something like that. The reason why I say that is because for somebody like me, cool. Like I mean, I think I'm resourceful, perseverance enough to move on. You know what I'm saying? To move on. To or strong minded, or to move on. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I have the resources to do that. Um I don't have the support. So I know that people normally use resources and support. Now I'm not gonna say I have no support, but when you lose everything, when you lose everything, there's something that you lose that means more than a lot of the stuff that could be around you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that just it's just you lose. It's something that's lost that you can't get back. There's something that you could lose that it can't get back. So that may not be the support that's sufficient for you. But the reason why I said that is because maybe for a person like me that could possibly work. But do you have people, you have people out there that's not going for it. You have people out there that's not going for it. You have people out there that lost everything, that lost too much, and they're not going to be turning the other cheek. They will not be forgiving nobody, and they will be taking names down, and they will be fulfilling that tooth for a tooth. You know what I'm saying? And that eye for an eye. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you figure you are destroying a person's life, and you're doing it on purpose. You're purposely doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're purposely doing it, and then you're seeing it through. And when I use the example of Emmett Till, and Emmett Till's example is very, I mean, that's graphic, and that's like the highest end. You know what I mean? Because he was tortured and he was a little boy. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't take away from the fact that this is something that people have done, or women have done to men. You know what I'm saying? This is like kind of like a thing, a reoccurring thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's becoming, egregious. It's even worse now when you have the Me Too movement, and you have all these types of movements that are solely for the oppression of men. Some of it could be for women to, for women to have their voices heard. You know what I'm saying? Or not to have their experience discredited. I mean, yeah, I can understand that. You mean, but when you're talking about things that you can look at and you can see is completely fabricated. You see what I'm saying? Like this is at this point, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like this is what are we going to do here? And this is sad, especially considering the fact that you might have a situation, especially like even in mine, where this is not indicative of my character. I never had a charge like this. You know what I'm saying? So we're talking about we're talking about a person that has no self-respect, and she doesn't have any love for herself and stuff like that. And more than likely, she's done this before. I'm still trying to get my do my research on that. And more than likely, her family has done it before. Her mom, like I said, her father can't even be in the room with her mother. And this is a known thing. This is a guarantee. And it's more than likely something that is pattern, like it's behavior type of thing. You know what I mean? But you have these people that's not going for it. They not going for it. And the thing is that what happens to society when we have these two type of situations? Why are we allowing this to happen? It's the same thing with the police, right? You have the police, and they'll say to you, we want you to be a witness. If you see something, you say something. But they be seeing they buddies shoot to death people all the time, and they never say nothing. They be seeing they buddies plant guns on people all the time. They never say nothing. They be seeing they buddies plant drugs on people all the time. Third strike all the time. Never say nothing. Life. Not even my drugs. Life. All the time. This is normal. So what do you do in a society when you have these type of people out here? What does society do? Huh? What does society do? Because I mean, do you blame? All right, I'll give you an example. The thing today is going to be what happens when something blows up in a person's face, right? Do you have the heart to blame Emmett Till's mother for snapping. If Emmett Till's mothers decide to do the Virginia Tech massacre joint or something like that, do you look at her and say, you know what? I understand. Of course, you're gonna say, oh no, that's the wrong people to snap on. But do you give her the rope if it was snapping on maybe the cousins of the brothers of the people who killed Emmett Till, because it was two brothers, I think, that killed him. Like the movie A Time to Kill or something like that, where they beat and raped his daughter repetitively, and he waited in the courthouse and killed the two guys going to court. See, I'm asking this because we have a society where we have some people that are able to just seem to just walk up and just have this thing where they can do this. And most of the time they are police officers. They will go there, they will say, this happened, it didn't happen. And most people just bow out gracefully. Most people bow out gracefully. And I honestly, truthfully believe that the dick eater, Rich Ronhold, really thought that I was going to do that. I totally believe that he looked at me and said, yeah, he going to bow out. He ain't going to fight. He not going to fight. I saw him face to face when he took me to the 35th, when I got extradited and I got back to the 35th. It only took me about 5 minutes to get put back downstairs. But I saw him face to face after 39 straight hours in transit. And in your eyes, is it justified? Is it justified for a person that loses everything to make sure that others who assisted in the destruction of their life lose everything? See, because this is a big deal, right? This is a big deal. This is what isn't this what the girl in Georgia sued Donald Trump for when they said that she rigged the elections or something like that? She did election fraud, something like that, where she started getting death threats and stuff like that. Can you imagine just being an innocent person, minding your business like I was, just minding your business, and something like this happens? You just get a case out of nowhere. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine spending 5 years in jail, trying to get out of jail because of it? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? See, most people can't imagine that. That's why most people cannot see the justification in those acts, because they can't even imagine the what a person would have to go through in those situations, right? So we have a society of things where people will be able to get away with these things. Mostly women. You see a lot of women doing that. If it's not the case I had where of a man being just made up, oh, he threatened me, he threatened to kill me or some stupid shit like that. If it's not one of them Jones, it's oh, he put his hands on me. If it's not one of them Jones, then oh, he raped me. Too many men have fell victim to these three things. Too many men have fell victim to this. To the oh, he, me. Okay. All right. I said about blowing up in someone's face, right? So you have Emmett Till's witness. She was able to get away with getting Emmett Till killed, actually being a witness there, which is just crazy. She witnessed, they got in the car and went over there and grabbed Emmett Till. She was there in the beginning of them killing him. So she was like an accessory. So boom. So you have these people that are aggressors, right? That are shit starters that do this stuff. Boom, right? And this didn't blow up in their face, right? You do have some people where it does. You have some people that they're making false police reports and all that, and then boom, they get caught. They get caught about a lying bitch, lying, or whatever, lying person, right? Lying cop, whatever, right? But then you have these people that don't. And for the blow up in the face, I'm going to bring that up because I'm gonna bring up some people that where it backfired. And I just want to know, with the way the world is now, and the levels of debauchery that you see, the levels of evil that you see, of people getting, we witnessed in this day and age, we just witnessed people committing genocide, then posting their genocide on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, and boasting about it, like posting it and boasting about it, like laughing, joking, making jokes about it and all that. We witnessed that. And what happened to them? Nothing happened to them. We're witnessing a lot of that type of stuff. We're witnessing a lot of stuff like that. Now, do you justify people that have that experience and snap? That have that experience of being tortured, bullied, wrongfully incarcerated, life destroyed. Do you justify them snapping? That's an interesting thing, right? That's interesting. Because you have students like the Columbine joint, or you have the boy that tried to kill Donald Trump.
As we've been here, there's a large media presence here. You've had members of the community come and approach us, including one person who said he actually went to high school with this suspected shooter. I want you to listen to a little bit of our conversation there.
He was bullied almost every day.
In what way? Can you explain?
He would sit alone at lunch. He was just an outcast, and you know how kids are nowadays, so they're gonna see someone like that and they're gonna target him because they think it's funny or whatever. So it's the best way I can describe it. And it's honestly kind of sad. Like, I don't want to say this is what provoked it, but you never know.
Yeah. You said he was a loner?
Yeah. I want to say he was a loner more because he was quiet, but like he was just bullied. Like he was bullied so much.
And this was high school?
Yeah.
What did they, do you remember at all what they said to him or called him?
No. He was just made fun of, I guess, for the way he dressed or his appearance.
That's what he was saying. He said that he was actually in the class before or behind the suspected shooter here, and we have some movement here where you hear an ambulance or a car horn. Excuse that background noise. But one thing that we also heard from that conversation is that when we asked what he was bullied for, what this shooter was bullied for, he pointed to his clothing. Apparently, according to this person who says he was a classmate, the shooter would wear military style clothes or hunting clothes regularly as he was at school. So we're still learning a lot more. We can tell you investigators continue to go in and out of the scene here. We know multiple agencies are here, not just local police, but the county bomb squad. As I mentioned last night, I saw the ATF here. It's a calm scene. It's not completely evacuated. Many residents are still in their homes behind here, but you can tell this is definitely a focal point of this investigation. investigation, as we learn more about this suspected shooter, who, again, from what we know and from public records, does not have a criminal history, not a large social media presence. So there's a lot more information that folks are looking to learn, Tom.
And you remember what one of the witnesses said? I'm gonna bring that up. I'm gonna put the whole recording of that on there. One of the witnesses and the guy that tried to kill Donald Trump in Pennsylvania, right up the street from where I'm from. It's like 2 hours away from Philadelphia. And the guy said he knew one day that this was going to happen. He just knew one day. He was like, I knew this was going to happen. I tried to tell people to leave that person alone. I just find that so interesting because I can't tell you how many people I have helped in my life, you know, in that type of situation where I'm telling somebody to leave that person alone. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. One, because I'm a Muslim and that's what we do. We are supposed to protect the oppressed. That's what a believer would do. But two, because it's something that I've experienced myself. Right? Most kind-hearted people experience these things. We always are putting ourselves in the line of fire for certain things. Like we're in the line of fire of certain things. Right? So what do you say to those people that like I said, maybe I feel like I'm emotionally more stable, I have more resources, things like that. What do you say to the people who are not? Who are not emotionally stable, who don't have the resources, who have lost everything, who didn't have a voice? What do you say to those people when they decide that they've had enough? Because they say what don't kill you make you stronger, right? So strength is your ability to endure pain. That's my definition, right? And if what don't kill you make you stronger, and strength is your ability, strength is your ability to endure the pain that you're receiving. What happens when you can't take the pain anymore? What happens when you endure torture and you can't take it anymore? Because these are the unintended consequences, right? These are the unintended consequences of people like this. Of people that constantly destroy people's lives, get away with it, on to the next person of life to destroy. Because I had a family, right? I had a family. I had a future. I had things. I had something. I had something that I liked, that I was working towards or for, or whatever you want to call those type of things. Is that something that is valuable for other people to look at? You know what I'm saying? Am I the only person that values that? Am I the only person that looks at that and says, damn, yo, that's valuable for me. That means the world to me. You know what I'm saying? But for other people, it's something that it can be expendable. It's something that can be taken from you because you're in their way at the time. You're in their way. And their plan, their agenda that they have for whatever they have going on is not fitting you in that way. Because I can tell you right now, this lawsuit going to be in a lot of people's way. I know this for a fact. I know it's going to be in your way. I know it's going to be in a lot of people's way. What you think I'm doing it for? It's interesting, right? Well, maybe those people like Rich Reinhold, the bitch Alexandria Greenwood, the nigga fucking Xavier Higgins, maybe those people are like me right now. Maybe those people know that it's coming and they don't give a fuck. They don't care if it blows up in their face. That was what they wanted to do at the time. They were able to get away with it. They could care less what happens afterwards. Okay. I'm not surprised. Because I don't care. I don't care if it blows up in my face. I guess that's something that maybe y'all can decide, right? Y'all can decide if that's something that if y'all can decide what the punishment would be. Y'all can decide like what you would think that is consistent with it. If an eye for an eye is good or whatever, and then y'all can decide on if y'all understand and y'all justify these type of things, because this is just part of. I think this is part of the whole, right? This is all part of the things that goes on when you have a debauchery type of system. When you have a system that easily awards the popular people or the people that they feel is a little bit on the more righter side or whatever, when you have those type of things and you're deciding on things outside of truth and reality and facts, when you have those things and you're deciding above those things, and this is where you always end up at. You always end up in the area of gray, of bullshit, and of unintended consequences. This is where you end up at. Because if you look at my paperwork, you will see all types of debauchery. Two guns with two different serial numbers. No DNA, no fingerprint. How can I possess something that doesn't have my DNA and fingerprint? Explain it to me, y'all. This is outrageous shit. But this is the type of shit that you get. This is the type of stuff that you get when you have this. So, and let me know if y'all don't see it on the discovery. I'll show you exactly which page it is. One more thing I wanted to ask, right? When does actually the eye for an eye, right? When does it become too much? Like when do you now become worse than the aggressor, right? Because yes, you do have those things where you may not be able to do eye for an eye, right? You have a person, this one person may destroy all these people, where you can't destroy, you can't get all them people from one person, right? So you're like, okay, how do I get payment for what he did? You know what I'm saying? And like Timothy McVeigh or something like that, he goes to like Oklahoma City and stuff like that. So what do you do with those type of people, right? Because that's too heavy-handed, right? When do you feel that you're not right anymore? When do you feel that now you have become wrong, just like the original offender? Because that's interesting. Because we see that when you see wars, you say, "Oh, he has a right to protect himself," but yet he's starving half the city. Like, you mean, what did the women and kids do? So it's interesting. So we will come back to this joint. We come back to this joint, like, because this is interesting. This is literally what happens when people adhere to the extremism and don't take the middle path. But it's also what happens when we live in this type of debauchery.